"I need a divorce," Jared said, his voice cold and detached. I froze, my newborn son Harper still cradled in my arms. The hospital room suddenly felt suffocating, the beeping monitors a distant echo. I searched Jared's face for any sign of emotion, but found none. "What?" I whispered, hoping I'd misheard. Jared's mother, Esther, stepped forward, her lips curled into a cruel smile. "You heard him, Sally. It's over. And we'll be taking Harper, of course." My arms tightened instinctively around my baby. "You can't." "Oh, but we can," Esther interrupted. "You think you can provide for him? A housewife with no skills." Jared remained silent, avoiding my gaze. 12 years of marriage, and this was how it ended? "Get out," I said, my voice trembling. "Both of you, get out now." As they left, I looked down at Harper's innocent face. Tears blurred my vision, but a spark of determination ignited within me. They wouldn't take my son. I'd fight with everything I had. A nurse poked her head in. "Everything okay in here?" I heard raised voices. I forced a smile. "Fine. Just family drama." She nodded sympathetically. "Your parents are here. Should I send them in?" "Please," I replied, grateful for the prospect of friendly faces. As I waited for my parents, I began to plan. I'd need a lawyer, somewhere safe to stay. The weight of what lay ahead was overwhelming, but I refused to let Jared and Esther win. My mother, Eleanor, bustled in, her face lighting up at the sight of Harper. "Oh, sweetheart, he's perfect." Dad followed, beaming with pride. "How are you feeling, Pumpkin?" I took a deep breath. "Mom, Dad, I need your help. Jared wants a divorce, and they're threatening to take Harper." Their expressions shifted from joy to shock, then anger. Mom squeezed my hand. "We're here for you, Sally. Whatever you need." As they cooed over Harper, my mind raced. This was just the beginning of the fight, but I wasn't alone. And I'd make damn sure Jared and Esther regretted the day they tried to take my son from me. I stood in the kitchen of my parents' house, staring at the divorce papers Jared had sent over. My hands shook as I remembered the day we'd first met 12 years ago. Back then, his smile had been warm, genuine. Now, all I saw was cold ambition. "You okay, honey?" Mom asked, cradling Harper. I shook my head, just thinking about how it all went wrong. The doorbell rang, and Dad went to answer it. A moment later, Esther's shrill voice filled the air. "Where is she? Where's my grandson?" I froze, panic rising in my chest. How had she found us? Esther burst into the kitchen, her eyes wild. "There you are, you little thief. Hand over my grandson this instant." Mom instinctively pulled Harper closer. "Esther, you need to leave. Now." "Not without my grandson," Esther snarled, lunging forward. I stepped between them. "He's my son, Esther. You have no right." "I have every right," she shrieked. "Jared told me everything. How you tricked him, how you're unfit to be a mother. We'll see you in court, Sally. And we'll win." As quickly as she'd arrived, Esther was gone, leaving a stunned silence in her wake. Dad cleared his throat. "I'll call the police, have them do extra patrols." I nodded numbly, my mind racing. Jared had lied to his mother, painting me as the villain. How far would he go to take Harper from me? That night, as I lay awake, a plan began to form. I'd played by the rules for too long, always trying to please Jared and Esther. It was time to fight fire with fire. I reached for my phone, scrolling through old contacts until I found the number I needed. Mason, Jared's grandfather, and the founder of the family business. My finger hovered over the call button. Mason had always been kind to me, often at odds with Esther's controlling nature. If anyone could help me navigate this mess, it was him. Taking a deep breath, I pressed call. As the phone rang, I steeled myself for the conversation ahead. This was just the beginning of my fight to keep Harper, and I was ready for war. The call with Mason left me feeling both hopeful and terrified. He'd agreed to help, but his words echoed in my mind. "Sally, this won't be pretty. Jared and Esther have powerful friends." I cradled Harper close, inhaling his sweet baby scent. "I'll do whatever it takes to keep you safe," I whispered. My phone buzzed with a text from Jared. "We need to talk." "Coming over." Panic surged through me. I rushed to find Mom and Dad. "Jared's on his way. Can you take Harper upstairs?" Mom nodded, her face grim. Be careful, honey. The doorbell rang just as Harper disappeared upstairs with my parents. I took a deep breath and opened the door. Jared stood there, looking haggard. Sally, please. Let's work this out. There's nothing to work out, I said coldly. You made your choice. He pushed past me into the house. Where's Harper? I have a right to see my son. You lost that right when you threatened to take him from me, I snapped. Jared's face darkened. I never said that. It was Esther. Don't you dare blame your mother, I interrupted. You're a grown man, Jared. Take responsibility for once in your life. He grabbed my arm, his grip painfully tight. You don't understand. The company. I wrenched away from him. The company? Is that all you care about? It's everything, he shouted. Without it, we're nothing. You're nothing. The words hit me like a slap. 12 years of marriage, and this was how he saw me? Get out, I said, my voice shaking. Now. As Jared stormed out, my phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. I know what Jared's been hiding. Meet me at the park tomorrow at noon if you want the truth. My heart raced. Could this be the key to saving Harper? Or was I walking into a trap? I looked up the stairs where my parents stood, Harper safe in their arms. Whatever came next, I knew one thing for certain. I'd fight with everything I had to protect my son and reclaim my life. I paced the living room, my mind racing. The mysterious text message weighed heavily on me, but I couldn't shake the feeling that it might be my only chance to save Harper. Sally, honey, you're not seriously considering meeting this person, are you? Mom asked, concern etched on her face. I sighed. I don't have a choice, Mom. Jared and Esther are playing dirty. I need every advantage I can get. Dad stepped forward, his expression grim. Then I'm coming with you. We'll keep our distance, but I'll be damned if I let you walk into a potential trap alone. Relief washed over me. Thanks, Dad. The next day, heart pounding, I approached the park bench. A woman sat there, her face hidden behind large sunglasses. Sally, she asked, her voice trembling. I nodded, sitting down cautiously. She removed her sunglasses, revealing red-rimmed eyes. I'm Lena. I think I'm the reason your marriage is falling apart. My blood ran cold. This was Jared's mistress. Jared told me he was divorced. Lena continued, her voice breaking. I had no idea until I saw the news about Harper's birth. I'm so sorry. I wanted to hate her, but the pain in her eyes mirrored my own. It's not your fault, I said softly. Jared's the one who lied to both of us. Lena handed me a flash drive. This has everything. Emails, photos, financial records. Jared's been embezzling from the company to fund our relationship. He told me it was to start our new life together. My hands shook as I took the drive. This was it, the key to bringing down Jared and Esther. As Lena left, my phone rang. It was Mason. Sally, we need to move fast, he said urgently. Jared's called an emergency board meeting. I think he's trying to push me out and take control of the company. I clutched the flash drive tightly. I have what we need, Mason. It's time to end this.
As I hung up, I saw Dad waiting in the car, ready to whisk me away to confront Jared. In that moment, I knew there was no turning back. The fight for Harper's future and my own had reached its tipping point. The private investigator's voice crackled over the phone. Mrs. Thompson, I've got everything you need. Photos, financial records, even recorded conversations. Your husband's been busy. My heart raced as I absorbed the information. And Lena? She checks out. Seems she really didn't know about you or the baby. But there's more, Mrs. Thompson. Your husband's been siphoning money from the company. Million. I felt the blood drain from my face. This was bigger than I'd imagined. I'm sending everything to your lawyer now, he continued. Good luck. As I hung up, my phone buzzed with a text from Mason. Emergency board meeting tomorrow. Jared's making his move. We need to act now. I knew what I had to do. With shaking hands, I dialed Lena's number. Sally? Her voice was hesitant. Lena, I need your help. Are you willing to testify about Jared's lies? There was a long pause. Yes, she finally said. It's time for the truth. The next morning, I stood outside Jared's office building, my lawyer by my side and a stack of damning evidence in my hands. As we walked in, I caught sight of my reflection, tired eyes but a determined set to my jaw. I barely recognized myself. The boardroom fell silent as we entered. Jared's face paled, while Esther's eyes narrowed dangerously. "What is the meaning of this?" Esther hissed. I met her gaze steadily. "The truth, Esther. Something this family seems to have forgotten." As my lawyer began presenting the evidence, I watched Jared's carefully constructed world crumble. The embezzlement, the affair, the lies, it all came pouring out. When Lena walked in, Jared's composure finally broke. "You don't understand," he pleaded, looking frantically between us. "I did it for us, for our future." I felt a strange calm settle over me. "No, Jared. You did it for yourself. And now you've lost everything." As the board members erupted into angry discussion, I realized this was just the beginning. The fight for Harper, for my dignity, for my future, it was all ahead of me. But for the first time in years, I felt ready. Ready to face whatever came next on my own terms. I turned to leave, pausing at the door to look back at the chaos I'd unleashed. In that moment, I made a decision. No more playing by their rules. It was time to rewrite the game entirely. The boardroom was a powder keg of tension as I stood before Jared, Esther, and the company executives. "My lawyer, Sarah," nodded reassuringly as I took a deep breath. "Ladies and gentlemen," I began, my voice steadier than I felt, "I'm here to expose the truth about Jared Thompson and the corruption within this company." Jared's face contorted with rage. "This is ridiculous. Security, remove her." "Not so fast," Mason's voice boomed from the speakerphone. "As founder and majority shareholder, I demand we hear her out." I locked eyes with Jared as I laid out the evidence, the embezzlement, the affair, the lies. With each revelation, I watched his carefully constructed facade crumble. Sir, ever the manipulator, tried to intervene. "This is clearly a misunderstanding. Jared would never." "Enough, Mother," Jared snapped, his composure finally breaking. "It's over." The room erupted into chaos. Board members shouted accusations, lawyers scrambled to damage control. Through it all, I stood my ground, Harper's future my sole focus. Suddenly, Jared lunged towards me, his eyes wild. "You've ruined everything," he snarled. Security restrained him as Sarah stepped between us. "Mr. Thompson, I suggest you calm down before you make things worse for yourself." As Jared was led away, Esther approached me, her voice low and menacing. "This isn't over, Sally. You may have won this battle, but I'll make sure you never see a penny of Jared's money. You'll be left with nothing." I met her gaze unflinchingly. "You're wrong, Esther. I already have everything I need, my son and my self-respect." As the dust settled, Mason's voice cut through the din. "Sally, I owe you an apology. I had no idea how bad things had gotten. I'd like to offer you a position on the board. We need someone with your integrity to help rebuild this company." The offer stunned me. It was more than I'd ever imagined possible. But as I opened my mouth to accept, my phone buzzed with an urgent message from my mother. "Come home now." "It's Harper." My heart plummeted. In my quest for justice, had I put my son at risk? As I raced out of the boardroom, I realized the true battle was just beginning. The fight for Harper's future and my own was far from over. I raced home, my heart pounding with each passing second. Mom's urgent message about Harper echoed in my mind, drowning out the chaos I'd left behind at the company. As I burst through the front door, I froze. Esther stood in our living room, cradling Harper in her arms. My parents watched helplessly from the corner, fear etched on their faces. "What are you doing here?" I demanded, my voice shaking. Esther's eyes gleamed with malice. "Securing my grandson's future, of course. Did you really think I'd let you win so easily?" I took a step forward, but Esther tightened her grip on Harper. "Ah," she warned. "One wrong move and you'll never see him again." "This is madness, Esther," Dad interjected. "You can't just take a child." "I can and I will," she snapped. "Jared signed over full custody to me." "It's all legal, isn't it, dear?" Jared emerged from the shadows, his face a mask of defeat. "I'm sorry, Sally." She threatened to expose everything if I didn't comply. Rage and desperation surged through me. "You coward," I spat. "After everything, you're still letting her control you?" "Enough," Esther barked. "It's over, Sally. You've lost." As she moved towards the door, Harper began to wail. His cries pierced my heart, igniting a fierce determination within me. "No," I said, my voice steady. "This ends now." I pulled out my phone, dialing Mason's number. "Mason, it's Sally. I need your help. Esther's trying to take Harper." Esther's face paled as I switched to speakerphone. Mason's voice filled the room. "Esther, so help me God, if you don't hand that child back to his mother right now, I'll make sure you and Jared never see a dime of the family fortune." "Is that clear?" The room fell silent, save for Harper's whimpers. For a moment, I thought Esther might defy even Mason. But then, slowly, she loosened her grip. I rushed forward, scooping Harper into my arms. As I held him close, inhaling his sweet baby scent, I knew the battle was far from over. But for the first time, I felt truly empowered to face whatever came next. Esther's venomous glare promised this wasn't the end. As she and Jared left, I turned to my parents, exhaustion and relief washing over me. "It's okay," Mom soothed, embracing us both. "You're safe now." But as I looked down at Harper's innocent face, I realized the true fight was just beginning. The fight to create a world where he could grow up free from the toxic legacy of greed and manipulation. And I was ready for it. As I sat in the sunlit living room of my parents' house, Harper cooing softly in my arms, I marveled at how much had changed in just a few short months. The divorce was finalized, Jared's company was under new management, and Esther was no longer a threat. The doorbell rang, and Mom answered it. "Sally, it's for you," she called. I walked to the door, Harper nestled against my chest, and found Mason standing there, a gentle smile on his weathered face. "May I come in?" he asked. I nodded, leading him to the living room. We sat, an awkward silence settling between us.
"I wanted to thank you," Mason finally said. "Your courage, it saved our family's legacy." I shook my head. "I didn't do it for the company, Mason. I did it for Harper." He nodded, understanding in his eyes. "And that's exactly why I'm here. The board has made a decision. We want you to take over as CEO." The offer hung in the air, heavy with possibility. For a moment, I was tempted. The power, the vindication. But as I looked down at Harper, I realized what truly mattered. "I'm honored, Mason, but I have to decline," I said softly. "My place is here, with my son." Mason smiled, not surprised. "I thought you might say that, which is why I have another proposition. We're starting a foundation focused on supporting single mothers and children. We'd like you to run it." Tears welled in my eyes as the full weight of this opportunity sank in. I'd be honored. As Mason left, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. The battles were over, the storms weathered. I had emerged stronger, wiser, and with a clear purpose. That night, as I tucked Harper into his crib, I whispered a promise to him. "I'll always fight for you, my love. And I'll teach you to be kind, to be strong, and to stand up for what's right." As I watched him drift off to sleep, I realized that this wasn't just an ending. It was a beginning, a chance to build something beautiful from the ashes of what was lost. Jared and Esther were part of my past now, their power over me nothing but a fading memory. The future stretched out before me, bright with possibility. I was no longer just Sally, the betrayed wife. I was Sally, the survivor, the protector, the builder of a better tomorrow. And as I closed Harper's nursery door, I smiled. We were going to be just fine.